Hi, it's James Cannell here. We are going to be talking about tenant relationships for our Mogul Mastermind. And one of the more sensitive parts of the tenant relationship is ending that relationship. And so we have got an expert here to actually talk about that part of the relationship. Now, we know that one of the things that is huge right now is rental deferrals. But we also know that rental deferral doesn't mean free rent, it just means pushing the rent back to a later date. Now, we know that unfortunately some of our tenants aren't going to be able to hold up to their deferral commitments. And so we want to have a strategy to work with the tenant and to protect ourselves as landlords that when this is all over, out the other end, if they're not able to meet their payment commitments, what we do about that. So why don't we get a little bit of insight on some thoughts initially?
Thank you very much, James. Yes, that is called keeping ahead of the game. And in fact, I've been talking with a lot of my clients just in the past few days on this exact subject. The strategy that I would use with my own properties, and I'm certainly an owner as well, is that if whatever agreement I come to terms with the tenant, I would want to put that into a court order, so that it shortens the time that it takes to go to the court and get that court order in order to and then have it enforced. So the problem at the moment is the enforcement of court orders that are for non-payment of rent. So that's been deferred to May 1st, which isn't a long time. But in the same part, they may change that. They may make it June 1st or July 1st. We don't know what's coming down the pipe yet. So to be prepared, you have a court order in hand. You have the opportunity to jump at the first available spot with a bailiff if it comes to that. And that may be enough as well to keep a tenant in line, or maybe a better way of saying it, more willing to communicate with you, because that's the most important thing, is to have that tenant communicating with you.
Well, and that's just it. You know, I mean, in this crisis situation, we want to have a strong relationship with people, and we want to, give them the allowances that they need to help make it through this tough time. But at the same time, if we have a tenant that has taken that envelope and pushed it a little bit too far and is basically using this situation as an opportunity to take advantage of the owner of the property and get free rent, then we want to make sure we know what the remedies are. Yes,
and the remedy is and has been for a long time now is through the court. Our TDRS is made specially for landlords and tenants both ways, and the faster you get through that system, the better. It's taking right now, the ones that we've filed in the last few days, we've been getting about, the hearing date is about 3 weeks down the road. Okay. So as I say, strike now, get that hearing date. That doesn't mean you have to serve it right away. It has to be served within 3 business days of the hearing. So, you can delay serving until for sure that the tenant isn't going to comply. Okay, and that makes perfect sense. So I guess it's all about being proactive. I mean, a whole part of our workshop is going to be maintaining that relationship and strengthening it so we don't get to that point. But you know what? You're talking about things like court orders and serving, and there's a whole big complicated process. So, I think what we're going to learn is just tips and tricks to navigate the system under the pressure that we're going to be experiencing in the coming months. Yeah, that's the whole thing, and certainly the best tip I could give is going to the RTDRS site and just reading what they have and taking a look at the process. You can file electronically. The hearings are by phone, so you don't have to worry about catching anything, and it's equally as binding as being there in front of the adjudicator, and can be when they're allowed, can be enforced with a bailiff.
Well, that's fantastic. And, I'm just absolutely thrilled you're coming to give a lot of us owners and, people that are renting properties a little bit of peace of mind, because I know a lot of the landlords out there are saying to themselves, well, we want to be reasonable. We want to give those rental deferrals. We want to work with the tenants. We don't want to put anybody out where they don't have a roof over their head. But we're going to reach a point where this all clears over. This too shall pass. And for the tenants that are taking a little too much advantage, I'm really excited to just hear the real solid, in the trenches advice on exactly how to prepare yourself for the one or two bad apples that might ruin it for the whole bunch.
Okay, and that's I'm willing to discuss each individual case with anybody. Certainly, advice is always free, or usually free, usually worth that much as well. But certainly, each individual case may have a slight twist to it. Again, getting the process started early is the biggest tip I could give. Having a date in hand that shortens by 2 or 3 weeks is wonderful. I mean, if you're out 1 month rent, it's awful. If it's 2 months, it's even worse. If it's 3 months, you're
snowballs.
Yes, it snowballs, and so if you can change 2 months into 5 weeks, you got her beat.
That's right. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to you coming and giving that practical knowledge on how to work with the system and, how to navigate things once we come out the other side of this. And, that's just going to be invaluable for all the owners out there. And I think the peace of mind and that know-how is going to make a huge difference. So, Don, I appreciate you offering to come speak about, the end of the tenant relationship, if it needs to come to that, and giving people the knowledge they need to feel confident that they've got a solution at the other end of this.
There's always a solution.
That's right. Thanks so much.
Thank you.